Hey everybody, this is Sean from Devilish Media, and today I want to do a short video that just gives you sort of a basic overview of what you can expect when you buy one of my templates, and also what can you do with them. Just to kind of take a step back, if you're not familiar with what a NiteFlirt template is, let me show you. So this is my website, Devilish Media. My name's Sean. I'm a graphic designer. I'm also a marketing consultant, and I have been in this adult industry for probably 20 years now, maybe even more. I'm showing my age. But anyway, I've been doing graphic design and web design and consulting for the adult industry for a long time, and I started to slowly step into the phone sex space because there was a lot of sort of specialization that I could do there and provide a lot of value. So Devilish Media kind of moved towards focusing towards independent creators and cam performers and phone sex operators, and basically, you know, more of the independent creator community in the adult space. And so I cater mostly to that part of the industry. So if you go to devilishmedia.com, you can see that I do offer a number of products that cater to this industry. I also offer consulting to help you grow your adult business. And I also offer, well, I blog quite a bit. I write quite a few articles and things just on technology in the adult industry and just kind of how they intermingle, the whole spaghetti of that. And I also offer custom graphic design services. And currently I'm doing mostly graphic design. I have done web development in the past, but it's not really my thing. So I do a lot more front-end design because that's, you know, honestly, it's what I find the most fun, and I think that's where I provide the most value. So if you are looking for custom design services for your creative, adult-related creative business, then please get in touch and let me know. Now, regarding the templates, if you go to my website, you can see I have a shop here with a lot of products. You can either go to shop up here, you can go to here, shop now, or you can see some of my services as well. So if you go to the shop, you will see I have a number of NiteFlirt templates available. I also have some bundles, I have some books I wrote, and I have some courses which I'm going to be updating very shortly on a much more in-depth overview of one, especially setting up NiteFlirt profiles and listings, and also just basic sort of adult-related graphic design on more of a professional high level. So anyway, keep an eye out for these products and services, and they'll be coming out very shortly. But I wanted to do this video basically just to kind of give you a basic overview of the NiteFlirt template, which is kind of the main focus here of this video. So if you go to the website, you see I sell a number of website or NiteFlirt templates. These are going to be growing by the day, by the week. If I just pick one here, let's assume that, you know, I'm already assuming that you probably already have some basic familiarity with what NiteFlirt is. That's why you're looking for a NiteFlirt template, and so I don't have to explain all the details about what NiteFlirt is. If you don't know, NiteFlirt is a phone sex platform where people can go and they can sign up and they can offer their services, and they have these profiles that they need basically to catch their customers' attention. And most of the time, the basic standard profile on NiteFlirt is pretty simplistic. It's mostly just a text box. And so a lot of people basically just use some sort of HTML code to and graphics to make their profile look better. And so I create these NiteFlirt templates basically to make your NiteFlirt listing look better and also more effective. So if you go here to my site and you find a template that you like, let's assume that you've already liked it and you purchase it, you can either click here to buy it with Gumroad with a credit card, or you can go here and you can click this buy now via NiteFlirt, which actually goes to a NiteFlirt pay-to-view mail. So you can get it both ways. You can use your credit in your NiteFlirt account to pay for that as well, however you want to do it. So let's assume you've already bought a template and you should receive it probably as some sort of email attachment, and you download it. And once you download that template, what you're going to get is a zip file that contains your listing. Now, if you're not familiar with a listing or what a zip file is basically a compressed document format. Most likely, if you have a modern computer, you should be able to just double click it and it already will unzip it for you. I'll show you here. Just double click on my Mac. I have a relatively new Mac, and it unzips, and then inside is the folder with all the stuff. So let me open that up, and you see all the stuff that comes in here. Now, if you don't have unzipping software. One caveat here is that if you're going to buy a NiteFlirt template and you're going to set it up, most likely you're not going to want to do it on a phone or tablet, because you're going to download it and it probably won't unzip on your phone or your tablet, and it's not going to be very effective. So you most likely do need to use some sort of desktop, laptop, PC or Mac or whatever to do this editing. It's going to make it a lot more easy to do, and be a lot less buggy and less problematic. So most people have, you know, a laptop or a desktop or something, or access to one, and so that's usually the best way to do this. If you don't have unzipping software, if you have an older machine or whatever, like I said, most likely you already have it on your machine, but if you don't, you can just go out and Google unzipping software. It's typically either available for free or very cheap. These kind of services, these unzipping sort of software, they kind of come and go over the years, and so I'm not going to pick anything specific. Really just go out and Google how to unzip a zip file or something like that, and it'll basically point you to the most up-to-date software that'll do it. But like I said, most likely you just double click on the zip file and it should open. So let's assume you've gone through that process, you've double clicked and you open it, and basically you get a NiteFlirt listing template. And if you look in here, I basically give a README first, which just has some basic information in it. It's just a PDF with some stuff. If you click here, I have a layout.html file, which is the code for your listing. I also have a folder with some images. So if I highlight this, these are sort of all the buttons and things that you get, various placeholders, various headers and things. So typically my listings have a number of various different buttons, different headers that you can use depending on what your sort of niche or your fetish is, and different buttons that you can sort of interchange based on what you need. I also offer a header file, which basically these are headers that are 15 by 500, which are sized basically so you can add them to your X, or formerly Twitter profile. So if you need to put it in the header of your profile, these will work for that, and that's why I provide these as well. So you have sort of an all-around package here. So let's basically say you bought this and you're ready to go. You want to edit your template. What I'm going to do is basically take this layout.html file and I'm going to drag it down here into my browser. And what you will get is a way to see what this looks like on the front end. So if I go down here, see I have some headers, I have some buttons, I have some placeholder photo areas, I have some text in here, different images, different buttons, all that kind of stuff, and footer area. So basically, once you change all your information and activate all these buttons and change your photos and stuff in here, you'll be able to take the code and copy and paste it into your NiteFlirt profile. So you go down here and there's this little box and you paste your code in here, and then you go down and you click OK, and then that should be good to go once Playfair approves it, or make sure the code is compliant and all that stuff. The reason I create these is because the code that you place in these, NiteFlirt profiles, they have to be very, very simplistic. So normally if you go have somebody design sort of a website, there's all this extra code that goes with website and with HTML that makes things function a certain way on the modern web, but these NiteFlirt listings only accept very, very minimal code, and so these listings are designed so that they're very minimal code, and so you can paste them in here and you don't have to worry about it getting blocked because there's too much junk that it won't read. These also only have a certain character limit, so it has to be sort of shortened, and so that's why these listings are important to use as a template. So moving on, let's say you have this listing and now you want to edit it with your information. You want to add your photos, you want to activate your pay-per-view or buttons, your goodie bags and all these kind of things, and so people can click on them and they can buy your stuff. I also have a little thing here that points to the feedback button on NiteFlirt, and so it's just this is all this information that you need to change and activate yourself. And so the way you're going to do that is if we go in here into, let me get this out of the way. So if we go into the listing here, this is the code. And what you want to do is you want to use a program that will allow you to look at the code on this file. And typically if you just click it and open it up into Word, or you open it up into some sort of, like a fancy web design software like Dreamweaver, it's gonna mess stuff up. Like if I take this thing and I drag it into like text edit on my Mac, it's going to open it up in this word editor, which you might think is great. I can go ahead and change it. But when it comes to accessing the code, if I go to Format, Make Plain Text, it basically just deletes all my code and just gives text. And so you want to use an actual HTML editing program because it's going to allow you to access the code without it changing or deleting anything or messing anything up. Okay, so the program that I use is called BB Edit. It's been around for a long time. It's fairly stable. They have a free version. They have a paid version. The free version should be able to basically do everything you need to do just for this listing. And, you know, like I said, just go out and Google free HTML editing software, and you can usually find something that's going to work. Like I said, this stuff comes and goes, so I'm not going to point anything out in particular, but BB Edit has been fairly stable for a long time, so that's why I use it. So if I want to access the code, so basically I just take this layout.html file, I go down here, I drag it into BB Edit, and it shows me my code. And now if you haven't edited HTML code, it can look a little bit intimidating, but if you start to look in here, you can kind of see what's going on. So up here, I have some background color coding. These are the hex colors for the text and for the background and the font size and all that kind of stuff. As you see here, this image source line here, it's going down and it's pulling in the image graphic for the header here, this financial domination header right here. That's what that is. So basically, if I go down here and I look at images, which is this images file right here, and I go down to FinDom header, which that's what's showing up here, I can show it right here. So this is the graphic. So basically what you want to do is you want to go in here and you want to change all this information and update it with your images and your text. And what's most important here is that you need to change the graphics so that right now, if you look at this line of code, it says images / example photo. Right now, this images, it's pointing, so this code is pointing towards this folder on my desktop that says images. And what you want to do, and it's a little bit complicated, is you want to make sure that if you paste this code in your NiteFlirt listing, then it's not going to have this images folder anymore. It's going to basically need to reference this image somewhere out on the web. And so you're going to have to take your images, you're going to have to take all these buttons and all the images that you have for your listing. So this example photo is going to be replaced with a photo of yours. And you're going to want to upload these to the web, and you're going to want to take the link to where those images live on the web, and you're going to replace this line with that link. And so I'm going to show you really quickly how that's done. So basically, you know, if you have your own web host or whatever, or your own FTP, you know, service that you can upload your images to, if you've done this a while, then that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, then most likely you just want to find a place on the web where you can upload your photos, which allows kind of adult related content and allows you to get the link to those images and paste them into your listing. I recommend going to WordPress.com and signing up. So let me pull this up here. You go to WordPress.com and it allows you to set up a free blog, and they're typically fairly okay with, I mean, the stuff on NiteFlirt isn't nudity anyway, so basically you can get away with just uploading it to WordPress. I've already went ahead and signed up. I have this blog called Devilish Media Sandbox at WordPress.com, and this is sort of the back end where I can upload my stuff. So let me resize this a little bit. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about free WordPress blogs in the future. But for now, we basically just want to upload our images so we can change the links. So once you set up your own free WordPress blog online, you can just go in here to Media, and basically just want to upload media. So I'm going to upload it. So I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm just going to take all this stuff in my folder here, all these images, and I'm just going to use, let me just use that one header right now. So I'm going to use this one right here. I'm going to upload that. So I'm going to drag it over here. It's going to upload. Now it's uploaded into WordPress. I basically just click on that. I can click on that and hit edit, and then it gives me this URL. And this URL is basically the link to where this image lives on the internet. So if I copy this and I go into my browser and I paste that up here at the top, it's linking to this image right here. And so for the most part, now I just need to take that link. I go back to my code here. I go back to this header up here, and I take this in between these parentheses. So it's not living in this folder called images anymore. It's living on the internet now. And so I need to go and do that with every single button, every single image that I have, and make sure all that information is changed. And so if I go ahead and I hit save, I go back to my layout here, hit refresh, and now this image here is living not in the folder on my desktop, it's living on the internet. So this web page is basically pulling this image in from the internet. So all these other things have to be done. And now, once you've done that, then you want to go in and you want to set up all your pay-to-view links, all that stuff. So your buttons are activated. So let's assume you've gone ahead and changed all these links to the ones that are on the internet, and then you say this link here. And so this link here is where you change it to the link in your pay-to-view email that you set up on NiteFlirt. Make sure you get it in between the parentheses here, and make sure you go and change your code and all that kind of stuff here, and hit save. And then once you're done, everything is saved, everything's uploaded, all your links are changed, all your text is changed. Then you refresh here, you make sure it all looks good. Make sure all these images are pulling in from the web and not from that folder. Once it's all done, then you go in here and you select all and you copy, or you do it. I use keyboard shortcuts, but anyway, you copy this stuff and then you go back to NiteFlirt. And yours is probably going to be empty, and you go ahead and you just paste it in this box here, and you should hit OK. And typically what's going to happen is this thing's going to go through and it's going to check your code, and it's going to say some stuff is weird, and which case typically it just says some of that stuff was weird, we want to change it to look like this instead, and then you can click that and confirm it and make sure it looks okay. Typically, if you don't change too much crazy stuff in my templates, it'll be fine and it'll look okay. And if it's not, then you just need to go ahead and tweak and make sure you didn't delete something, or it's really easy to go in here, accidentally delete one of these little brackets or one of these little parentheses or whatever. So you got to make sure you got to be really clear that you don't change anything there. And so that's the challenge with writing code, is make sure all these little syntaxes and all these things stay the same. So you're only changing your graphics, you're changing your text, and you're changing the links to those buttons. All this other stuff needs to stay the same. Also, you need to make sure that whatever HTML editing program you have, sometimes they add more stuff. And so you want to make sure that this, your template code looks the same as it did before you added it into the new HTML editing software. So typically what will happen is we'll add some stuff up above this table tag here or down below. If it does add that stuff, you want to just make sure you go in and you delete that stuff, because you really only want this table tag. So this isn't a complete website, this is just a little chunk of HTML code. So make sure that it doesn't change any of that stuff. Again, there's a lot of random variables and a lot of happy accidents that can happen, but that's just what you have to deal with editing your own NiteFlirt listing. Once you get good at it, once you start experimenting with it a little bit, it's not so overwhelming and it becomes a little more easy to understand. But yeah, that's the basic down low. I'll also offer, for people who don't even want to mess with this, and I can totally understand, if you go to my website, devilishmedia.com, and you click on services and you go to template setup services, I do offer this as a $100 service per template. It is a little pricey because it is time consuming for me to set it up. But if you buy a template and you want to do it yourself, basically just send me all your images and all your pay-to-view links and all your text and everything you want it to say, and I'll basically set that up for you, and I'll send you the HTML file. All you have to do is open it up and copy and paste this into your NiteFlirt listing, and it should be good to go. So it's up to you. If you buy a template you want to set up yourself, which is probably a good idea if you learn how to do it yourself, it's a lot more freeing to be able to do this stuff yourself. That's great. If you want me to set it up, I do offer template setup services, and I will do it for you. So it's your choice. So with that said, that's the basics, and like I said, there's going to be a lot more sort of tutorials and courses coming out that will show you how to do much more crazy fancy stuff with your listing. And like I said, if you go to devilishmedia.com, I will be offering quite a few products in my shop in the coming days, weeks, months. So look for new templates, look for new courses, look for new bundles, and it's always going to be something new and exciting. As always, if you get stuck, you want to send me an email, just send it to Devilish Media at gmail.com. So devilishmedia@gmail.com, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. I mean, I'm not going to hold your hand through the whole thing. That's why you pay me for that. But some basic questions I'm always available to answer for you. You can also follow me on all the socials. I'm on X, I'm on Insta, I'm on TikTok. And anything new that comes up, feel free to add me and connect and send me some messages, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. I am also on NiteFlirt, so if you go to NiteFlirt and you go to Devilish Media and search for me, I'm on NiteFlirt too, so you can send me a mail on NiteFlirt, and I'll try to answer your questions as well. So, with that said, this is Sean. I hope you enjoy your listings. If you have any questions, get in contact, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.